Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another flight. Today we are back in the PMDG 737 NGXu. It has been a while since we did a 737 flight, if I remember correctly, due to the fact that I've been very busy with the A320 series in the past. And yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to do this flight today. Also, we are going to a new destination, which will be Cartagena down in Colombia. Starting in Miami, so it will be, I think flight time will be 2 hours and 20 minutes. Sort of a nice holiday destination flight down to Colombia. Also, I am currently testing a new add-on. It's called Pilot2ATC, and I've been made aware of that by actually one of you guys. So thanks in that regard. I have been testing the add-on lately, and it's pretty cool. What it does is it sort of enhances the ATC conversation. So ATC, or speaking to ATC, is now much more realistic. Really, the downside to it is it's not speaking to AI traffic, which is sometimes very messy, since it can still happen that we are flying an approach and there are other traffic on the runway, which is a bit annoying. Anyhow, I have not yet decided to go for it, since it's I think like $50 or something like that. But I wanted to do at least one test flight with it, showing it here on the channel, and also get your opinion. And please, after this flight, let me know what you think about it. Alright, other than that, I think we are pretty much good to start the flight preparations. Regarding the aircraft today, we are in the American 737-800. Of course, November 998, November. It's in fact a pretty new aircraft, been delivered in 2016, so only like 4 years old. Right, other than that, weather is good for Miami conditions, so no thunderstorms or anything, just a bit of a cloud cover up there. We are here at the Delta gates. There's an A319 lifting off, very beautiful. And I think we will be going out of 08 right, which is down there, so it won't be too much of a taxi. Right, and other than that, I believe GSX should be coming in for boarding, and we are good to go into the flight deck. Right, so here we are. First things first, IRSs. I think they should be aligned any second now. Yeah, just 1 minute left, perfect. Okay, I've done the A-cars, so we can load in the routing. That should be quite fast. Yes, also we can have the airport, or in fact we can't do it yet since we still need to do the performance, but it should work later on. Let's load this in. So routing today will be rather straightforward, just departing out of 08 right, doing the NO2 departure and then towards the south, and then it's pretty much in a straight line down to Cartagena. Should be very straightforward, really. Okay, and that's that. Let's go to performance and request the performance transition. We are in the US, of course. It's 18,000 here, so that should be correct. And then also, after we've done this, I think we can give the first try to Pilot2ATC and ask for our clearance. Okay, let's see. I think on the flight plan they gave us 360, so let's go with this one initially. And then 18,000 is correct, and everything else looks good. Let's do the wind data, and then also, so let's give the first try to Pilot2ATC. I've set it up in a way that the co-pilot will do the frequency changes and also will do all the answering to ATC. And so for us, it's really only left doing the initial requests, which is fine, since otherwise would be a bit too much workload for the pilot flying. Okay, so let's try it. American 1145, ready to copy IFR.
American 1145 is cleared to Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf as filed.
Okay, that seemed to work.
Expect departure runway 26 right. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure.
4,000 feet.
Departure on 120.5 squawk 3502.
And they gave us a
American
weird runway.
1145 is cleared to Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet.
I think they gave
Expect
us
higher
2.6
clearances
left,
2
which
minutes
I'm
after
not
departure.
happy with. Let's check
Departure
the weather.
on
Maybe the winds have
120.5
shifted.
squawk
Wind is
3502.
120 at 6.
American
So, no, not at all.
1145 read back correct.
Let's try again and
Altimeter
ask for
3007
the
contact
other
ground
departure
on
runway.
120.35 when ready for pushback. Have a good morning.
American 1145, ready to copy IFR.
American 1145 is cleared to Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf as filed.
Okay, so let's give this another try,
departure
guys.
runway 08 right.
08 right,
Climb
now
and
works.
maintain 4,000 feet.
Okay, 4,000
Expect
still
higher
valid.
clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.5 squawk
heading
5653.
2, by the way.
American 1145 is cleared to Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf as filed.
I think they also just gave us the
Climb and
squawk
maintain
code.
4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.5 squawk 5653.
American 1145 read back correct. Altimeter 3007 contact ground on 120.35 when ready
Yeah,
for
so you
pushback.
guys can
Enjoy
notice
your
that I'm
morning.
still very much getting used to
Altimeter
this add-on.
3007 ground on
We can also do the
120.35
squawk in a
American
second. Let's finish this one
1145.
first. So, out of 08 right on the Anos to Sierra. And then they gave us our initial altitude of 4,000 and heading is 092, and speeds will come up in a second. Winds are loaded in already, that's good, so we can actually continue with the performance calculations. So conditions are dry, now we need the weather again. So winds are 120 at 6, and this should be fine. Let's try takeoff 2, flap optimum, aircon will be on, anti-ice will be off. And we have a flap 5 and select the temperature of 32 today. So, N1 limits 32, and then let's go climb 1, that should be enough. Takeoff, flaps 5, center of gravity, and then it's speeds. Oh, where are we here? Getting lost inside the cockpit. 139, 140, 146. So 139, 140, 146. Okay, seems like they want me to close some doors. Happy to do that. So 146 plus 10 plus 20. It really depends on the operator, I think. I'm not sure what American Airlines does, so let's go plus 10, 156. And all those can go to on, and VNAV, LNAV, cool. Okay, close forward entry as well, which means GSX is entirely done with the boarding process, which is great. I'm just a little bit behind now. Let's get this APU fired up. And seatbelts are on, that's good. Okay, I'm going to manually disconnect the jetway. That's always the safer procedure in a way. And now I need to find out the squawk code again. So squawk 5653. 5653. Yeah, so well, this is the squawk was something we didn't do flying without an ATC, so it makes it a bit more realistic, at least in that regard. Okay, parking brake. Now I'm not using the checklists today. All of it would be a bit too much, so I hope I'm not forgetting anything. When the APU is fired up, which is now, that's great. So let's put the packs on, and then we can disconnect the external power. Remove wheel check, and that will remove everything, and then we should be good for pushback. So American 1145, ready for pushback and engine start.
American 1145 pushback and engine start approved.
Okay.
Pushback and engine start approved American 1145.
Cool, looking good. GSX is coming in. Now let's see over here. I think we have a bit of fuel in the center tank. Probe heats come on. Those guys come on. Beacons. And then this should be fine. GSX is always a bit silent in sound terms, so I hope you can hear it. Okay, departure time, the scheduled one would be 16:15, so we are very much on time. And I think that's 11:15 AM local time. So yeah, it will be daylight flight. Tail goes to the left, please. Okay, let's start the block time and release the parking brake. Start at will, cool, looking good. So, packs come back off and then we will fire up number 2. And I think we have auto start on here. We have the new switches, so that should work automatically. So we can enjoy some outside views. Yeah, so I've dialed cloud resolution now to medium since here at Miami it's always very VRAM intensive. And I don't want to crash the sim. That's why I've dialed down settings just a touch. Oh, are we running? No, he's on the other taxiway, okay. I was briefly thinking we're gonna run into this guy. So we should be fine. Also I've dialed traffic back up again. I've set it really low previously due to COVID, but I think especially in the US, travel is sort of coming back to life. Okay, engine number 2 is already fired up, so let's start number 1. Same procedure. And then pushback should be completed any second. Port map, oops. Okay, how does this work?
Set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yes, I'm happy to get that. Oh, there's a Canada Rouge 767. Cool. Holding short on the runway since there's traffic on the lining up for departure. Sometimes AI traffic does work rather well, but not always. Alright, engines are fired up. Cool. So, generators 1 and 2. And PAX isolation valve goes to auto, APU bleed goes off, and then APU goes off. Very nice. Then, other than that, we need the trim. Should be 5.85. So we need to trim it up quite a bit. Like this approximately, then flaps go to position 5. Like that. This goes to RTO. And then we can do the flight controls. So full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and rudder, full left, and full right, neutral, checked. Alright, I think we don't need this, so it can go off now. And let's see, he's walking away. So we're gonna ask for a taxi clearance. Let's see which taxiway they want us to go. American 1145, ready to taxi to runway 08 right.
American 1145 taxi to runway 08 right via taxiway, taxi to runway 08 right.
Sorry about that. Yeah, 08 right, we are cleared. They didn't give us any taxiway instructions for whatever reason. So we can do it on our own. Cool, taxi lights are on. I think we are good to go. So let's release the parking brakes. And off we go. Now it seems like the 767 is gonna be sitting there for quite a while, since there's a continuous string of aircrafts lining up. Okay, so let's see where we are. I think we will naturally take a right-hand turn down here, and then just follow this 737 down to the runway. And if I'm not mistaken, it should be taxiway. No, November it should be, I think. Here we can read on the ground as well. November goes off to the left, so we'll take this one. No, I haven't checked for any other traffic, but luckily it's free. So as far as I've experienced up to this point, this add-on Pilot2ATC, they would, for example, not tell you that there's any aircraft taxiing behind you when you push back or stuff like this. It does work somehow for departure, so when we're going to line up or when we're going to ask for the clearance, they're going to tell us that there's other traffic in front of us. But other than that, yeah, it's kind of messy, especially during approaches when there's other traffic around on the ground. But let's see how it works today. I believe down in Cartagena there won't be too much traffic and only one runway. So it's more straightforward in a way, but let's see how it works. I feel like we've done a very quick setup today. I'm not sure if I mentioned everything which I usually mention. Maybe regarding the departure, so we will climb to altitude 520 feet and then do a slight right-hand turn, heading direct to BOR, Virginia Key. And yeah, from there on it's just straight south, so there's not any further constraints, which makes it quite simple. Okay, so how well are we prepared for departure? We've done all the planning. Flaps are set, brakes are set, start switches are continuous. Maybe we can put on the traffic and weather on my side, and then traffic and terrain, and then let's also put on the transponder already. So TARA. And yeah, from November we will meet Papa, and then Papa will take us straight down to the runway. Pretty straightforward. Let's switch this one off as well. I wonder why it's so sunny. I would expect the clouds to block out some of the sunlight, but apparently that's not really working. And usually when we get closer to the runway, the co-pilot will automatically dial in the tower frequency. All right, so there's a holding line right here, and might be even ours. Let's hold at this one. I'm still hoping for the co-pilot to do the frequency change, but somehow that's not working. Okay, so let's manually dial in the tower frequency like this, and then we can try. American 1145, ready for departure, runway 08 right.
American 1145, hold short runway 08 right.
Hold short runway
Okay, so it
08
worked.
right
They told us
American
hold
1145.
Not quite sure why though.
American 1145 line up and wait.
Okay, now we're
Runway
good.
08 right.
Cool, so that was
Line up
probably
and
just
wait
because of
runway
the other
08
aircraft
right American
departing.
1145.
Landing lights, we have the cool new ones, the LED lights, very cool. And then strobes as well. Oh yeah, and speaking of lights, I forgot to mention earlier, I also picked up the Parallel 42 737 Immersion package, which is very cool, gives much nicer lighting effects and all this kind of stuff. However, it comes more into effect during bad weather or nighttime. So today we won't really see too much of it. But I think it's a cool package, especially now in the Black Friday sales. It's anyway a good time to pick up a lot of add-ons. I'm not sure if you guys did the same. I did anyways.
American 1145 winds are 125 at 6 knots,
Hey, and
cleared for
here's the clearance
takeoff.
coming in.
Runway 08 right, squawk 5653, maintain runway heading until above
5653.
1000 feet, then turn right heading 188 to intercept course.
Okay,
Cleared
that
for
was
takeoff. Runway 08 right squawking
Let's listen again.
5653, maintain runway heading until above 1000 feet, then right to 188 American 1145.
okay. Then we want 188, which is interesting. Yeah, let's dial this in, and then we should keep runway heading until 1000, but we can do that. So start the timer. Run. There we go. Okay. Power to around 50%. Power is established. Toga, and off we go down to Cartagena. I'm wondering if I should really follow the ATC instructions or rather follow the flight director. Let's see what they tell us after departure. He's speeding up easily, although we have a bit of derate. Rotate. Was a bit of a fast rotation, but we are airborne, gears coming up. So now we can't see any of the main
American
effects.
1145 contact ground on 120.35.
Contact ground on
Okay, that's also
120.35
very
American
weird why they would tell us
1145.
to contact ground now. Makes no sense at all. Okay, so let's follow the flight director. I think that's just the safer thing to do today. I think they have died. No, they're not really saying anything right now. That's a pity. Cool. Nice view down on Miami indeed. Awesome. Let's put the autopilot on and then flap 1. And let's try again if they tell us anything at 4,000 feet, and if not, then this makes a little sense to use this add-on. Flaps up. It's a bit shaky.
American 1145 climb and maintain 13,000.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Okay.
American 1145,
Somehow the,
heading
frequency was
177
stuck.
American 1145.
So
American 1145, good morning.
we have a new
Squawk
altitude.
5653, climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Squawk 5653, climb and maintain 13,000 feet. American 1145.
Okay, now at least we
American
have ATC back on.
1145, slow to 250 knots or less.
250, yeah, well, okay, that's done then. That should be fine.
Wilco American 1145.
Okay, so quite shaky here, this departure. A very beautiful views on Miami area. We're still in the clouds. I'm going to leave them on continuous for a little bit longer, but this can go to off. And yeah, there's in fact some weather on the radar, but nothing too crazy as it looks like. Alright guys, so that was the departure out of Miami. We are just heading through the clouds. Sorry if it's not like as smooth as you are used to. This is due to the ATC add-on. We will continue trying it for the arrival. Maybe it will work better than for the departure. We will see. And well,
American 1145 resume navigation.
Hello viewers, welcome back to the flight deck. Just as we have passed 2 hours of airtime, 2 hours and 1 minute it is right now. We are just passing through 17,000 feet and we are already below a few clouds. Yeah, the meter tells us there's few clouds at 20,000 and that's what we are seeing here. So quite realistic, although they are changing a bit now. And yes, so first of all, regarding the departure we did earlier, I've messed around again with the ATC settings, and I don't want to blame it all on the ATC. I think in my config there was a little bit wrong to get the proper departure, and thus I think we are in for a good work of ATC now for the arrival, hopefully. Yeah. Clouds are not quite sure what they're supposed to do right now. Anyhow, so yeah, we've got the ATC clearance for the arrival earlier, and what they did is very much in line with our flight plan. So they have cleared us for the Veron 2 Echo arrival, which is very straightforward. It's just from Veron 2 o'clock, and then it will be on the final approach course already. And also, which is kind of cool, they have given us a specific altitude to meet at Veron, which is 11,000, and I've typed this in the FMC, so we are spot on the descent profile. And then from Utlok, which will be the initial approach fix, it will be an RNAV arrival into runway 19. I think it's been quite a while since we did the last RNAV arrival. If I remember correctly, it was back at COS. And yeah, so I hope it works a little bit better this time. Should be all right, really. I now like triple checked all these settings in the FMC and stuff like this, so we should be good. And here we have the RNAV progress, and we see there's no vertical deviation, which is very important. And also here, actual nav precision C is 108, required would be 400, so we are doing very good on the RNAV approach. Okay, and now there's some more clouds. Pretty cool, two separate layers of clouds. We don't get to see that too often in the sim, but it's really according to the meter, at least last time I checked. Let's double check again. So there's scattered at 15,000 and scattered at 20,000, so that's really spot on here. Variable winds of 6 knots down at Cartagena, pretty much on the nose, 200 to 270, a little bit from the right though. Warm temperatures of 30 degrees, so all looking pretty good for a nice arrival. I have set barrel decision altitude at 410 feet. And well, yes, I think that's pretty much it. Auto brake 2, I've done the calculations earlier. So with an auto brake 2, we need 6,098 feet of runway, and we have 8,366 available. Although I should note on the official charts it reads 7,800 of total length. So, well, anyway, we should be good. And also, in fact, since we don't really need it, I'm going to switch it off. And yes, so now we are approaching 11,000. Will be very interesting to see what the next ATC instruction is. Technically, we can also be holding here at Woodlock. In fact, it's really dialed in right here. It came with the arrival, so here hold at Woodlock at 3,000 feet. We might need this, since earlier on there was also some other traffic here on the radar. Now it has disappeared. It was an Air Transat A321 from Montreal to Cartagena, and it seemed like he's a little bit in front of us. So we need to keep an eye out for this guy if he appears back on the radar. And yeah, single runway down at Cartagena. Also, the airport, it's pretty cool. It's really located in the city. So there is not much space next to the runway, which means that we will need to go all the way down on the runway and then swing around at the end, taxi back on the runway until we get back to the parking positions. Let's see how this works out, especially with other AI traffic. I would assume they are really bad on these kind of operations. But let's see, maybe ATC can even help us a little bit on this. Let's put those to continuous. And yeah, so I'm very excited about this arrival. I really hope it works well. So just double checking AI companion. So that's the Air Transat arriving at Cartagena, and then there's two guys going out of Cartagena to Bogota and Panama.
American 1145 altimeter 2980 cleared for the RNAV approach to runway 19 with the UTLOP transition at Rafael Nunez contact approach on 119.1. Good afternoon. Okay. Altimeter 2980 cleared for the RNAV approach to runway 19 with the UTLOP transition approach on 119.1 American 1145.
Alright, so apparently we are cleared for the approach.
Approach American nice 1145 descending to 3,000 feet.
Yeah, so we are going down to 3,000 feet. That's dialed in here. When we are established there, we need to remember to set it lower. I forgot it on the RNF arrival into course earlier on this year, so that's one thing I learned about RNF arrivals. Now we're passing 10,000. Let's get this landing lights switched on. And so I'm just wondering about this other traffic, which is definitely out there somewhere. And early on I really thought it was ahead of us. But somehow it's gone for whatever reason. So let's zoom in a bit here. And now I'm wondering if I should get this this hold out, but it really depends on the other traffic. So now it's 1831, which is should be 131. And if we see on here, the Air Transat should be arriving at 44. So maybe now we are ahead of it, and those are going out 13. 28 and 25. Okay, he's already taking off and he's taxiing out, so those guys should be gone before we get there. And then it only comes down to this Air Transat guy from Montreal. He's quite low already at 2,000 feet, far below us. Okay, anyway, I mean, we will see. If he really appears somewhere close to us, then we need to clear him off. All right, so I think let's skip this holding, right? Yeah, okay. That's better. Okay, and there we want to be 3,000 feet, just double checking on the charts. And then Kulik, we want to be 1,680. What I'm going to do here is now I'm going to set it down to the decision altitude, which will be 410. So yeah, let's set it 400. But we certainly want to clear out the autopilot before that. And I mean, we should have good visibility on the runway, so it shouldn't be any problem. And then we can sort of even do a nice visual approach into Cartagena. And now there's just this layer of clouds below us, which seems to be very thick rather. I really wish I could see this other traffic wherever he is. It's probably too far below, that's why the radar isn't showing it. It's a bit annoying. But there's no other settings here which we could use to make him appear, I believe. Okay, so the aircraft really does want to slow down. Also, we are not that far out now. Maybe I should set the flaps soon. From Utlock, it will be exactly 10 miles left. So at Utlock, we want to be at a flap 5 config. And regarding the go-around, pretty straightforward. We just climb straight ahead, heading 189. In fact, let's dial it also in here. 189, and then we will climb to 3,000 feet and hold at Simab, which is just behind the airfield. Yeah, so there's Simab. We will just be holding there, 3,000 feet, pretty straightforward. Okay, last check on here. Those guys are gone. No, he's still taxiing out. And he's landing now very low. Okay, so he's far in front of us. I hope he will just be gone from the runway when we get there, due to this one, yeah, so he has to go all the way back and taxi back, and it will take a while. Okay, anyway, let's just hope we will be fine. Very cool passing through these clouds, and let's take this chance to set flaps 2. And we should see these sleds coming out on the leading edge of the wing. There they go. Cool. Now this seems like a pretty realistic cloud appearance for these kind of tropical destinations. And there we can finally see a little bit of land down there. Yeah, now the aircraft is slowing down quite a bit. I did set speed 180, that's why it wants to slow down so much. Track required, but I think we will be fine in fact. Yeah, these charts are very handy for the approach, for our nav arrivals especially. Ooh, and there's even a bit of rain, crazy.
American 1145 Altima Cartuna NGXu at Rafael Nunez contact tower on 118.3.
Okay, I think there was a clearance.
Altimeter 2980 tower on 118.3 American 1145.
Yeah, so if you download different
Tower American
voice
1145
packs,
inbound for RNAV approach runway 19.
just waiting for the response. Okay, no response, whatever. Yeah, if you download different voice packs for Windows, you get different voices of all over the world. That's why I've set it to Spanish voice now for the approach. Kind of cool that it works, although it's really hard to understand. Okay, so we are at flap 5, we are exactly 10 miles out now. And everything looking good. Altitude is set to 400, which means we will simply keep descending on the descent profile. And all looking well. Let's see if we can see any traffic down there. No, not yet. Yeah, but here we can nicely see the setup of the city. So the city is, of course, stretching along the coastline, and further down there, there's some big harbors in there. And the runway starts just past the beach. Pretty cool arrival.
Tower American 1145 inbound for RNAV approach runway 19.
I'm not sure why the tower is not answering, but maybe they're not supposed to answer. Okay, let's go flap 10 and we can drop the gear. And flap 20. Okay, and final approach speed, let's double check. 135 plus, no, let's go 134 plus 5 makes 139. And let's go flaps full and arm these speed brakes. And so I believe we can take the aircraft. Like this, and autopilot goes off, so I have control. Yeah, lights are all fine, we can put the taxi lights on. Cool. And so let's hope for good landing, and let's hope the air transat is off the runway by the time we get there. A little bit slow. But it's okay, we can pick up the speed slightly. And yeah, winds are shifting a little bit, sort of coming in from the right. It's 6 knots.
American 1145 winds are 244 at 6 knots, cleared to land runway 19.
Clear to land runway 19 American 1145.
500. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue. It's beautiful arrival. Look at this skyline back there in the background on the right hand side. It's a crazy skyline. Flare. A little bit long, but quite nice.
American 1145 exit runway Wenable.
Beautiful, and we are down in Cartagena. These trees next to the runway are rather large. Maybe a bit too large, but never mind. So we've made it down safely. That was quite nice. Cool, idle forward, manual braking. Very, very cool arrival here into Cartagena. And now we will take the first exit to the left, and then we'll circle around, and then we will come back onto the runway Cool, cool, cool. So flight time of 2 hours and 19 minutes. And now we can do a bit of cleanup. Like this, and those like this. And we will leave these strobes on since we will taxi back on the runway. And now we could also technically ask for a taxi to the gate clearance. Although here at this airport it's not too exciting, pretty straightforward taxi procedures. But we can anyway try. American 1145 request taxi to gate. Okay, maybe it didn't work. Okay, cool. Let's put this transponder to standby and get this APU fired up. Okay, and then we can set up GSX anywhere from gate 1 to 7 that's available. Let's just go 3. Avianca. Alrighty. VOR's traffic and weather. And VOR's traffic and terrain. Let's get this one cleared out as well. Yeah, runway textures, to be honest, not too good. I've seen better ones. Scenery, by the way, is from PKSim, which is the same developer as the Bogota scenery, for example. And I think they're doing a quite good job, actually. So there's the air transit. He has made it to the gate. Some flaps are still out. Now they should be coming up. Okay, and now I think we can take the first exit to the left, and then our gate is down there. So regarding Pilot2ATC, now it worked much better compared to our departure from Miami. But in Miami also, I think I had the setup wrong. So I'm gonna keep testing it, but I can already let you know that it works better on these low frequented airports compared to the big hubs where it gets really messy with all the AI traffic. But I think I'm going to keep testing it for a little bit longer and then come to a decision whether to buy it or not. Alright, that's pretty straightforward taxi procedure here. Now let's see how good the config is, the GSX config. The vehicles are beautifully placed into the boxes here. That's really how it's supposed to be. And let's see if we can make a nice parking here. Oh, perfect. That's almost spot on. That's pretty good. Okay, parking brakes, APU is running. Can cut the fuel and then strobes go off, of course, and anti-collision lights as well. APU is running, isolation valve goes open, seatbelts come off, rope heats, and all the fuel pumps as well. Cool, and then clock time, 2 hours 35. Sweet. And then let's go FS actions, ground connections, set wheel shocks, ground power, and then also I think air conditioning unit would be rather useful as well. Okay, ground power is connected, so we can kill the APU. Packs come off. Nice. Releasing the parking brakes, and now we can finally ask for some deboarding. Now the air conditioning unit requests arriving, and I think we don't need to set up anything for it. It should work automatically. Yes, doors of course. Let's go this one, after entry and cargo doors like this. So here we are, there's the air conditioning unit coming in. Stairs are connected. There are no jetways here, people sort of disappear into this thingy. The transit is back there. So I think that was a beautiful flight into Cartagena. Don't know what you guys think about. Okay, that's not so cool, the bus running through the terminal. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this flight, also this landing into Cartagena using Pilot2ATC as an additional add-on. And well, yeah, let me know what you think about it. I'm always very curious in your opinions. And other than that, take care and hopefully see you on the next flight.